You know, yesterday at the end of the show, we brought up a topic and asked you to weigh in on Facebook, as many of you did. And of course, we were talking about Bill Cosby and all the trouble that he's dealing with right now, all the rape allegations. I think there are 5 women in total so far who have come forward. Janice Dickinson being the most recent. She's the self-professed first supermodel, is kind of how she bills herself. But, you know, problematic for Bill Cosby, for sure. And I don't know, Dawn, like from a legal perspective, is it better that he refuses to answer questions, or at this point, does he have to address it?
It's not even from a legal standpoint. I think you start looking at it from PR, from your brand standpoint. You know, Bill Cosby's always been a moral compass. He's talked about young African-American kids wearing their pants around their knees and stuff of that nature. So if he's having some really bad moral issues, maybe you do need to address it. It's not just going to go away.
Yeah, it'll keep popping up.
Stop addressing people wearing their pants around their ankles when you're taking yours off.
Exactly. I got a notification that NBC had dropped his sitcom as well yesterday, and it reminded me of the Paula Deen incident where, you know, as soon as something heavy or significant comes out, suddenly, you know, you're going to start losing your sponsors and you're going to, you know, get it some opinion, and then it's going to eventually cut your pocketbook.
And this is something way more serious than what Paula Deen went through. And to see her lose her empire over what happened.
She did. She really did.
2 decades ago. You know, but these are some serious allegations. And I know we talked a little bit yesterday about when is it too late to tell people that these things happen to you. And, you know, a lot of people are having that discussion today. What took them so long? Why are they saying stuff now?
I mean, in many cases, it's what, 20 years after the fact?
I think they recently came out, Janice Dickinson wrote about it in her book, but then the publishers took it out of the book.
Yes, and what a lot of people are saying is, I did tell someone. There was even a prosecutor who said, I believe that Bill Cosby raped this particular person. There just wasn't enough evidence to prosecute.
And did the publisher pull it out because they were protecting him?
Or themselves. They've got to, it's all about money sometimes for some people.
And with the first incident that that's not included in these, I believe he reached a settlement with them.
Yes, he did pay someone.
So then that raises the question, and a lot of people do that though, just to save their careers and to save their reputations, whether or not they're actually guilty of it. But yeah, the question of is it ever too late to stand up for yourself if you've been attacked or been raped? And unfortunately, because so much time has gone by, these women, you know, stand the chance of being discredited. And so it's very interesting. But Stuart, we've had a lot of people comment. What are people generally saying about this?
Well, when you brought up the question yesterday, I was a little uneasy about posting it. We had a conversation wondering if people would think we were being rude, you know, to potential rape victims. But the comments from our viewers really made me stop and think. So Enrica Damaris says, speaking of Janice Dixon, she just wants publicity in all the TV shows she's done. This has never come out before, so she's wondering why now. Craig Grisham says, too many have come forward for this not to be true. He says it's more proof that many people are not what they seem to be. Linda Arnold says, right or not, there's a time when justice can be served according to the law, and statute of limitations is part of that, which you guys were just discussing. She says if it's crucial to bring forth now decades later, why didn't you bring it up when it happened? Adam Ramirez also wonders why the first one waited until now, and now more are coming out. He sounds like he says it sounds like a money grab. And Larry Killips says not to minimize anything, but who can believe anything that Janice Dickinson says? So we'd love to hear what you think. Go to facebook.com/thebroadcasttv to leave your comments.
You know, I think where there's smoke, there's fire, you guys. To me, there are too many women with similar stories that don't know each other. And a lot of people say, well, what happened to innocent until proven guilty? I'm like, that's a court of law standard. In the court of public opinion, these things all are painting a certain picture of Bill Cosby for me.
I just think back to, you know, how many stories that we've heard of rape victims, and a lot of times they don't come out right away. We were talking about that this morning. And the reason is because there's, why, I don't know, but shame, and that's, you know, they carry upon themselves. And coming out publicly with something like that is very shameful. I mean, nobody wants to admit that they've been raped.
Or like the situation with this young lady, you tell a prosecutor, I've been raped, and then it becomes a he said, she said, and then you're raked over the victim is often put on trial at these trials.
And then you're having to relive that scenario, which was horrific.
And so I think it's safety in numbers. You know, if one person is brave enough to come forward, we see this in the NFL domestic violence cases. All of a sudden you're hearing from other wives who have been abused, who did report the abuse to police, but now it's finally getting some traction and people are talking about it.
Yeah.
So
It's just, it's sad all the way around. The interview that I saw, he was with an AP reporter, and he was Bill Cosby was trying to kind of shame the reporter into asking a question. And you know this, girls, like we've been in interview situations where beforehand their PR people will say, do not ask them about A, B, or C. And you know not to ask about that. Well, this AP reporter was apparently told that. He asked anyway. And Bill Cosby was really trying to shame him for being unethical in some way for asking the question. But it was interesting how he refused to answer any question having to do with this. Well,
that had to be the advisement of his attorneys.
I'm sure.
And the PR people.
At some point he's going to have to make a statement, though.
Yeah.
And the statement needs to be more than, I'm not making a comment about this. So.
Right.
I still look at him, though, and just feel sorry for him. I do. I have pity on him.
Well, I did until so many came forward, and now I'm going, well, gosh, now I feel sorry. Now I feel sorry for them, and I feel sorry for his wife, who, by the way, was sitting next to him during this interview when he's being asked the questions. And bless her heart, she just had a look on her face like, just like, we're not going to talk about this. I'm going to let him handle it. And you just wonder, like, what's going on there
behind
and
what's going on at home. Yeah.
Just like a little heartbreaking all the way around. But we shall see. We shall see who else comes out of the woodwork.